So today has been pretty kick butt, We got to be careful for that YouTube algorithm to pick up swearing in the first 30 seconds of the video. Don't worry, YouTube. I am not. Welcome back to another video, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I've been saying that forever, and ladies and gentlemen just feels awesome. So I think that'll always be like a part of my intros. But, anyways, I'm whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. And you are whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I love paying special homage to that affirmation because that was the affirmation I used around the time that I manifested just a ton of greatness in my life. And I'm still manifesting a ton of greatness right now, especially with this challenge and everything. So, one of the things I've been doing is building a business and other things on the side. But a very, very awesome job opportunity has landed in my lap for a company. And I'm very, very excited. I just did the interview today. And like I said, when I was doing the series, that before I would record some of these videos, I would let you know. I said it literally in the last video that, well, the series started where I said I would end up meditating, but then it switched to like, I'm gonna meditate when I intuitively feel like it because I'm kind of already advanced in meditation. But now, right, I said, I'm going to meditate when I have the feeling. So today, it was getting pretty close to the time that I was going to have the interview. And I said, you know what? Let's meditate beforehand. I meditated beforehand. Best decision ever. It's just like a quick 10, 15 minutes. I don't know what it was on the clock when I stopped. But the reason I stopped today is because I've witnessed a lot of insane stuff in meditation, like the spiraling, the Kundalini energy up the back, wild stuff, visions, just everything, right? But this time I heard voices very clear, like higher self voices, like detached from my own, where it was like I'm taking kind of control, or not taking control, but in a sense where I'm the speaker and the observer, and it's not just random voices, intrusive voices in my head, like intrusive thoughts that pop up here and there. It was genuinely like a long time ago when I heard this thundering voice that was similar to my voice, but this time it was feminine, and it just felt like source. It felt definitely source, and I couldn't make it out because I was so, you know, like kind of loopy and out of it in that little alpha mode or whatever mode you go into when you're meditating. I was in that the drift, I guess. I like saying calling it the drift, So just I know I just got one of the craziest downloads, and before that, when I was rebranding, oh yeah, now I'm El Jar by the way, but her well El Yar as I like to say El Yar Rutin. That's how I see this name. Anyways, we're just going with stuff today, as you see. You're just going with the flow now. But yeah, as I've been saying in these videos, that I'm gonna let go and trust my intuition a ton more. Things have just been happening very quickly, letting go of control, letting go of feeling like I've got to prove myself to anything and anyone, tapping back into that love, tapping back into that love, claiming the I am, telling myself, I've already had the evidence over all these years that the inner world is truly the real world, and everything external of you is really just what's in your mind pushed out. And it truly is, man. Like I've noticed through little things how things in my experience were building me up to get to this sort of zen state. Let me switch arms really quick. Ooh, my right arm started to cook there. It was starting to get cooked. But what I was saying is I realized how everything in my life is leading up to the things I'm experiencing now. Like just all of the things where I've had things in the external reality, will say, really test me. And before I even really knew the core of how you can consciously manifest things, I naturally walked that path. Like at 14, I was meditating, candle meditating, and not knowing really what I was doing. I thought I was just like, back then, I did think I was unlocking superpowers, but because when you're programmed by the external world, you're thinking the things you're doing are fake. But I was actually tapping into some wild stuff, throw neuroscience and things like that, neuroscience research on top of that. And you just recognize why these ancients were doing all this stuff. They were tapped in, they were way more advanced than us, but those ancients were also us that I've come to know now. But just yeah, man. I know I seem like I'm out of breath, and I don't know why I'm rushing. I gotta chill. I think what it is I'm just excited to get all this out to y'all. But yeah, pretty much I'm at the point where I realized, to sum up everything I'm saying and how confusing and all over the place I may be right now, is that we're really source. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, your energy is going to speak for itself. And I think that that's genuinely why. And I don't even want to say I think. I'll say this. In the past, I used to think that that was why people gravitated towards me. Certain people, like a lot of people, formed really deep connections with me, even if it was just a point in time or a little chapter in your storybook that this person had to be in your life. If for some reason I formed extremely deep connections with people that say that I shifted their perspective, changed their life, this, that, and I believe we all can. But in my own experience, what I've noticed is just I form very deep connections with people. People talk to me very easily, share their life stories with me very easily, and it's very interesting, right? And I'm grateful for all of it. That is the one thing that I can say consistently throughout my life I will remain always grateful for. Whatever it is in my aura reincarnated with, I don't know. That I'm just grateful that people gravitate towards me. And even like anyone who tries to raise a hand against my power. And what I'll say is I'm saying that in the nicest way possible. But I'll say it just in the normal way, but like haters or anything like that, it's very interesting to see how it almost seems like the alchemy that I've done within myself causes them to go and do their own alchemy. I've even seen YouTube comments who have felt bad about saying negative comments that I didn't even necessarily perceive as negative, which shows you how we're all having our own reality. Come back and apologize to me and say that there's something special about me that they just can't, grasp. And these are on other channels. Obviously, this channel's growing. But it's funny when I look back at all this stuff because I just ask myself why. And I always come back to this same conclusion, and I'm like, it's just because I'm genuinely being me. Like, I'm not trying to do anything, I'm not trying to put on a mask, anything like that. I'm just being me, you know? And I'm being respectful, of course, of depending the environment I'm in, but most of the time I'm not going to and not willing to jeopardize self because authentically being you, that you that's just unfiltered in the way of like you're not gonna cringe at yourself, you're not gonna you know dim your light for to make others feel comfortable. That is to me the highest connection to God you have, and I see why my gifts, I'll say my psychic gifts and things like that, are coming back online now like they were in the past, because at the time that they happened in the beginning of my spiritual awakening, I could not understand anything I was seeing. I was like, yo, this is happening, this. But now I've noticed how everything has really come full circle. And I said I would master myself at 25. And I'm understanding the flow. I'm understanding how things line up and how I'm seeing synchronicities and all this stuff. Like nothing really is an accident. It's crazy. So these are just things that I've started to notice. And today was really one of those days where the meditation hit, the interview hit, the timing of the interview, funny enough, before things to come in February and the year of the horse, and just everything is hitting. And even how it went, it's just like, it's everything is really starting to reflect my internal world quickly the more I let go and realize, bro, this is all me anyways, man. Everything's a part of my awareness. The things that I get annoyed at, the comments, the people that try to talk about you, the family members that do it, the ones that, when you become the black sheep, and all the love, all the great comments, all this, it's really just your awareness of it. And that has helped me release a lot now too, and I think I can loosen up a lot more too when it comes to my comedy and joking online, even though I did on my other channels. But with this channel I really want to do that, where it's like I don't care. Who cares about being politically correct in your speech? Who cares about that? Because what's funny is they always, this is one thing that has never made sense to me but cracks me up, is when people are aware that, quote unquote, there are people less talented but then more successful than people that are actually, that have all the real talent. And to me, all of that is a matter of perception. I feel like we're all talented, to a degree in different fields, and we're all special. It's just what it is, man. We're all children of God, right? So, you're gods and goddesses. How are we all not? So you should really, worship yourself, which would literally be worshiping God. But anyways, that's neither here nor there right now. But what I mean is, like, it's funny when I see people talk about how, oh, there's someone out there less talented than you doing what you're doing and more successful at it just because they didn't get in their way or whatever, or they'll compare. And I'm like, to me, that cracks me up because, again, it's a matter of perception, but it's just what's really true about that statement, or a part of that statement, and it's funny, my girlfriend just said that her professor is talking about One Piece. That's crazy. But um but anyways, the thing about that that cracks me up is it part of it is really true in a way of like they don't get in their way of feeling like they have to have every step ready or having everything done, and they don't care about being like, for example, I don't. There's a certain streamer, a big streamer, which I think is an industry plant, but that people were talking about his speech and how he needed to read more books. If you know, you know. I don't want to mention the name because I believe mentioning names invokes spirits. Because in my own personal life, anytime I've said someone's name or even thought about them, and this could be a testament to my power, they pop up in my reality. So there's a certain streamer, large streamer, of the melanated class, who I guess was getting like clowned on for not being able to read or something like that, or having a low reading level. And what cracks me up, right, is why does it matter? All of this stuff is fictitious, anyways. Like, the world is literally not a real place. We are literally we're a bunch of stardust walking around and acting like we're separate from each other or having these different egos. And it's like this person who has achieved an amount of success for themselves, for what success looks like, industry plant or not, at a certain degree, whatever contract may have been signed, they still achieved what they wanted to in their life and they're still going bigger. That the fucking way they speak or the fucking matters. Like, see, these things and these judgments are the things that are holding back people back from experiencing their own realities or even creating their own realities with others. They're so caught up on, oh, but you don't speak proper or speak this or do this or you don't read proper. And it's like, yeah, and this person is hugely successful depending on what your perspective of success is. But the simple fact is that they are authentically being them without a care in the world, while you're the one that's over here caring. Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they say this quote that somebody who's more successful than you will not talk shit about you going on the journey to become successful. It'll only be people who are challenged or judged by your position in life. And you don't even, you could just have something that somebody doesn't have, or just basic levels of jealousy. It doesn't got to be some grandiose success achievement, but again, matter of perspective. But that really put things in perspective for me, because I'm like, wow, yeah, it's really true. Certain people who really, I'm even shocked that are popular or people give into or fame or are famous at, whatever. But I realized, because once you spiritually awaken, this stuff becomes very obvious. It's because once someone figures out reality is truly only them and everything is just them pushed out, you basically gain control of the matrix. It doesn't matter whether you work a 9 to 5 or not. You could be super magnetic. It's like, it just doesn't matter. It's all about becoming you. So, anyways, much love, and I'm out of here. But yeah, that's just all my thoughts. I'm realizing that for me, the biggest thing was just letting go and things start happening. Really just letting go of it all, letting go of even thinking I'm the player or the controller, and just literally letting source work through me, because everything is already done. Creation is finished. So there's nothing I really got to do, and there's nothing really anyone got to do. You're just basically putting your mind or aligning your mind. That's exactly what you're doing. You're like the gate guardian for source. That's what it is. The you're like the mirror. You're simultaneously the controller and the mirror at the same time, but you're not really controlling anything. It's your higher self, and then you're like the character that experiences what you selected. I don't know if I could put that in any of a better way, but if you pretty much are just like, okay, I want to experience getting this certain car, right? You put that out there and you're like, I have this car, I am this car, and I am this house, right? Then God, the universe goes, it is yours right now. And then after that, you just get out of the way. The moment you start letting your ego get in the way, you're basically latching on to the creation of God, which is you right here, which is the body, what your higher self avatar is playing in. But everything that creates comes out of thoughts in your mental. So you give it up to God, literally, or you give it up to your higher self, and then it just will happen. It'll just take place. You'll naturally be inspired to take these steps, like, for real. Like, I'm just seeing it. It's crazy. Like this company that reached out to me for an interview. It's like I was randomly putting in interviews, or randomly putting in applications while building my own business on the side, just naturally, another new business, and it just happened. And it's like it's a complete match, and it's just funny to me because it's like I'm not trying at all. I'm just doing, or I'm just like flowing. I don't know if I'm just yapping. Hopefully all that makes sense. Anyways, much love, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.